It started on a clear night. People all over the world were watching the stars as they always did. But that night something new appeared. A huge ship, bigger than any human-made thing, moved silently into Earth's orbit. It blocked the moon and stars behind it. Its shape was strange and dark, like a giant insect or a crystal. No one knew what it was at first. The world's leaders were quickly informed. Satellites and telescopes sent pictures and data to space agencies and governments everywhere. The ship was not just big, it was powerful. It stayed in one place, not moving like a regular satellite or a space station. Then something happened that no one expected. From the ship, a loud voice spoke. It was not like any human language. It was deep and cold, but somehow clear. A strange translator device turned the words into English, Russian, Chinese, Hindi, and many other languages instantly. "We are the Vexari," the voice said. "We come with a demand. Earth must send tribute. Give us your precious resources, your technology and your people. Fail and you will be destroyed." People around the world stopped. The message was simple but terrifying. The Vexari were known in stories, myths, and secret government files as a race of invaders who destroyed planets that did not obey them. Now, they were demanding tribute from Earth. The news spread like fire. Every radio, TV, and internet channel shared the message. People were scared. What could Earth do against such a powerful enemy? Many thought of hiding or running, but there was no place to run. The Vexari ship stayed in orbit, watching, waiting. The United Nations quickly gathered for an emergency meeting. Leaders, scientists, and military commanders joined in a video call from different parts of the world. They needed a plan, but no one knew what to do. The first question was, what kind of tribute did the Vexari want? Their message was vague. They said resources, technology, and people. But how much? What would happen to the people sent? Scientists studied the ship. It seemed to absorb energy from the sun and used it to power itself. They could see weapons, but the technology was far beyond human understanding. It looked like something out of a nightmare, sharp, dark, and glowing with strange lights. A message came again from the Vexari. "Your first tribute is due in 30 Earth days. Send what you have, or your world will be crushed." The deadline shook the Earth's leaders. They had no time to prepare for a war, but they had to obey to save humanity. The governments agreed to send a team of their best experts and resources. They chose the materials carefully. Rare metals, advanced machines, and some of the brightest minds. Many people volunteered, hoping to protect their planet. At the same time, secret meetings took place. Some wanted to fight, others wanted to find a way to escape. But the Vexari did not allow anyone to leave the planet. Their ship was always watching, ready to stop any attempt. The day of the tribute came. A large spaceship built quickly from Earth's combined technology carried the cargo and the people toward the Vexari ship. People all over Earth watched the launch, hoping for a miracle. The tribute ship docked with the Vexari mothership. The humans on board were nervous but determined. They hoped the aliens would be satisfied, but the Vexari were not interested in just gifts. A new message came, colder and harsher than before. "This is not enough. You show no true strength. Prove your value or become slaves." The humans realized the Vexari wanted more than goods and people. They wanted a sign that humanity was strong, clever, and worthy. On Earth, the mood changed. Fear grew, but so did determination. Humans had always survived by adapting and fighting. They would not give up. The world's best minds gathered to find a way to show the Vexari what humanity could do. It was no longer about just surviving. It was about sending a message that Earth would never be weak. The story of the Vexari demand had only just begun, but one thing was clear. The future of Earth would be changed forever. The days after the Vexari demand passed in a blur of activity. On Earth, every country worked hard to meet the alien threat. Scientists studied every scrap of information about the huge ship in orbit. Military leaders prepared defenses, but deep down everyone knew that their weapons were no match for the Vexari's power. Despite the fear, hope was not lost. The world had united like never before. Old rivalries faded as people focused on a single goal: survival. The first tribute was Earth's chance to show they could obey and maybe find a way to live with the terrifying new neighbors. The tribute ship, named Hope's Gift, was built quickly but carefully. It carried precious metals like platinum and rare Earth elements, as well as advanced machines that humans hoped would impress the Vexari. Along with the cargo, a small group of volunteer scientists, engineers, and diplomats boarded the ship. Their mission was simple but dangerous: deliver the tribute and learn what the Vexari really wanted. Captain Arya Malik led the human crew. She was calm under pressure, with years of experience piloting spacecraft. Arya understood the fear of her people, but she also carried a fierce pride for humanity. "We may be small," she said, "but we are strong in ways they don't expect." The journey from Earth to the Vexari ship took 2 days. The humans watched the giant mothership grow larger in their view screens. It was like a dark fortress in space, covered in strange symbols that glowed faintly. No sound came from the ship, only the eerie silence of space. When Hope's Gift docked, the human crew felt the weight of history on their shoulders. They entered the Vexari ship's docking bay and were greeted by beings taller than any human. Their skin was dark and shiny like armor. Their eyes glowed faintly red. They moved with strange grace, and their voices were cold and distant. The humans presented the tribute. The Vexari examined the materials with little interest. The machines were advanced but primitive compared to Vexari technology. The humans waited for some sign of approval. Instead, the Vexari spoke again, their voice echoing in the vast chamber. "Your tribute is accepted, but it is meaningless. Gifts cannot save you. Show us your power. Prove that your species is worth keeping. Captain." Malik and her team were shocked. They had hoped the tribute would buy Earth time, maybe even respect. Instead, the aliens demanded more: proof of strength, intelligence, and value. Back on Earth, the news spread quickly. The Vexari wanted a demonstration, not gifts. Fear grew in every heart. How could humans show power to such an enemy? Many thought about surrender. Some even feared this was the end, but others refused to give up. A secret council of scientists, generals, and leaders formed in the shadows. They called themselves the Guardians of Earth. Their job was to find a way to answer the Vexari challenge. The Guardians studied human history, science, and culture. They looked for what made humans unique. They knew brute force was impossible against the Vexari, so they searched for other strengths: creativity, adaptability, and spirit. One idea stood out. Humans were masters of surprise. Throughout history, they had faced stronger enemies and won by thinking differently. The Guardians believed Earth could develop new technologies that combined science and psychology. They wanted to create something the Vexari had never seen. Meanwhile, Captain Malik and her crew returned to Earth. They carried back a message from the Vexari, a warning and a challenge. The alien ship remained in orbit, watching and waiting for humanity's next move. Earth's people worked day and night. Factories produced advanced drones and new weapons. Scientists designed artificial intelligence that could learn and change quickly. Engineers built ships that could move fast and strike hard. But most important was the plan to create fear in the enemy's mind. The Guardians studied the Vexari culture, finding clues to what scared them. It was a risky plan, but if it worked, it could turn the tide. Humans would fight, not just with machines, but with the power of the mind. As the days passed, tension grew. The Vexari made it clear they would not wait forever. The next tribute was due in 60 days. This time, humans had to send more than materials. They had to send a message. Captain. Malik prepared once more. This time, her mission was different. She was to lead a new crew carrying a secret weapon, one designed to terrify the Vexari. On Earth, families said prayers and held on to hope. The future was uncertain, but the spirit of humanity burned brighter than ever. The story of Earth's fight against the Vexari had moved from fear to determination. The question now was, Could humanity's terrifying gift save the world? After the harsh words from the Vexari, Earth was not the same. The whole world felt the weight of the challenge. It was no longer enough to send gifts or treasures. The Vexari wanted to see what humanity was really made of. They demanded proof of power, intelligence, and courage. The leaders of Earth knew this was a moment of truth. If they failed, the Vexari could destroy the planet or enslave its people. If they succeeded, humanity could survive, and maybe even become a force to be respected in the galaxy. In secret, a group called the Guardians of Earth continued their work. They gathered the best minds from every country, scientists, engineers, psychologists, and strategists. They knew the Vexari technology was far stronger, so brute force would not win the fight. Instead, they focused on using human creativity and adaptability. Dr. Ravi Singh, a brilliant scientist from India, was one of the Guardians. He spoke at a world meeting. The Vexari expect us to act like them, with weapons and war. But we are different. Our strength is in our minds, our ability to learn, change, and think ahead. The Guardians worked day and night on a secret project called the Terrifying Gift. It was not a simple weapon, but a complex system combining biology, technology, and psychology. The idea was to create something that would confuse and scare the Vexari, something they could not control or understand. They used advanced computers to design creatures, tiny bioengineered drones that could change shape, sound, and light. These drones could enter the Vexari ships and make noises and images that reminded the aliens of their worst fears. It was a form of psychological warfare, using fear as a weapon. At the same time, engineers built new ships for the next mission. These ships were fast, agile, and packed with surprises. They were not meant to fight head-on but to strike quickly and disappear. They also carried the new drones and artificial intelligence programs that could learn and adapt during battle. Captain Arya Malik was chosen again to lead this mission. She was ready. This time, she said, we will not just give them gifts. We will show them who we are. Training was intense. The crew learned to work with the strange drones and new technology. They practiced using fear against the enemy, understanding how to stay calm while their enemies were confused and afraid. On Earth, people watched the preparations with mixed feelings. Some were afraid, but many were proud. They sent messages of hope and strength to the crew. The world was united by a new spirit, not just fear, but courage. As the launch day came, Earth held its breath. The new ship, named Shadow's Edge, lifted off with a roar. It carried the secret weapon and the hopes of all humanity. Shadow's Edge traveled fast to the Vexari ship. As it approached, the crew felt the tension. The dark mothership loomed large and silent. When the humans docked, they did not bring gifts. Instead, they released the tiny drones into the corridors and control rooms of the Vexari ship. The drones moved quickly, changing their shapes and colors, making sounds that echoed through the vast alien halls. The Vexari were startled. Their eyes widened as images of their deepest fears appeared around them. Monsters from their legends, shadows of failure and destruction. Panic spread among their ranks. The drones attacked not with weapons but with the power of fear. Meanwhile, Shadow's Edge struck with precision. The AI-controlled drones disabled key systems without destroying the ship. The humans did not want to kill but to send a message. Earth was not a weak planet to be bullied. Captain Malik's team moved through the ship, calm and focused. They communicated with Earth in secret, sending back data about the confusion they caused. For the first time, the Vexari lost control. Their perfectly ordered world was shaken by something they did not understand. Fear was spreading like a virus through their ranks. Back on Earth, the news was a surprise. People cheered as they learned their species was fighting back in a new way. The Guardians explained that the power of fear, when used wisely, could turn the enemy's strength against them. The Vexari sent a message, colder and more urgent than before. Cease your attacks or face total destruction. Captain Malik replied, firmly, We do not seek war, but we will defend our home with every weapon we have. The battle was not over, but humanity had changed. They had shown the Vexari that Earth was not just a planet to take from, but a force to be reckoned with. The terrifying gift was only the beginning. The Guardians knew they had to prepare for whatever came next. But now, Earth had hope. And hope was a power the Vexari had never faced. After the shocking success of the secret mission, Earth's leaders knew that they had discovered a new kind of strength. It was not just weapons or numbers, it was the power of the mind. The Vexari had never faced fear like this before, and it had shaken them deeply. But the fight was far from over. The Vexari remained in orbit, silent and watchful. They sent warnings to Earth, demanding an immediate end to the attacks. Their words were full of cold fury, but beneath their pride was a clear fear, a fear of something they could not understand or control. On Earth, the Guardians of Earth prepared for the next phase. They had seen how the tiny drones could break the Vexari's confidence, but they needed to do more. The terrifying gift had to be stronger, more unpredictable, and even more frightening. The scientists worked with biologists, psychologists, and engineers to create a new generation of bioengineered creatures. These creatures were designed to enter the Vexari ships and spread fear in every corner. They could change shape, sound, and even mimic the faces of the Vexari's worst enemies, real or imagined. At the same time, the artificial intelligences grew smarter. They learned from each encounter and adapted quickly. Every new mission became more effective because the machines understood how the Vexari thought and feared. The new fleet of ships was ready. Unlike before, these ships were not just fast, they were stealthy and silent. They moved like shadows, able to avoid detection and strike at the heart of the Vexari's operations. Captain Arya Malik was chosen once again. She had become a symbol of hope and courage for Earth. "We are not just fighting for survival," she told her crew. "We are fighting to show the galaxy what humanity really is." The crew of the flagship, Shadow's Edge, felt the weight of her words. They were ready to carry the terrifying gift to the Vexari, to show them that Earth would never bow. As they approached the Vexari mothership, the humans prepared to release their terrifying new weapon. The creatures were unleashed into the vast corridors of the alien ship. They moved quickly and silently, creating terrifying illusions and sounds. The Vexari reacted with fear and confusion. Some saw ghostly shapes that whispered terrible secrets. Others heard voices from their past, reminding them of failure and loss. Panic spread through the ship like wildfire. At the same time, human ships struck key targets. Systems went offline. Communications were broken. The Vexari ships were not destroyed, but their order was shattered. Captain Malik led her team through the chaos. They moved carefully, avoiding traps and counterattacks. They used the confusion to gather intelligence and prepare for the next strike. Back on Earth, people watched the news with a mix of fear and pride. The terrifying gift was working. The Vexari were no longer the unbeatable force they once seemed. But the Guardians knew the fight would get harder. The Vexari would learn and adapt. They would not give up easily. In a secret meeting, the Guardians discussed their next moves. "We have shown them fear," Dr. Ravi Singh said. "Now we must be ready for their retaliation." The Vexari sent another message, this time with a warning. "Stop your attacks or face total destruction." Captain Malik answered firmly, "We fight for our home. We will not stop." The stage was set for the next battle. The terrifying gift had been unleashed, but Earth's story was far from over. The Vexari were not used to losing control. Their ships were powerful, their technology advanced beyond anything humans had ever seen. But now, for the first time, they felt fear, not just from Earth's weapons, but from the terrifying gift itself. Their confidence began to shake. Captain Arya Malik and her crew on Shadow's Edge could feel the change. The Vexari were no longer calm and cold. They made mistakes. They argued among themselves. Some began to doubt if Earth was truly weak. On Earth, the Guardians watched carefully. Their plan was working, but they knew they had to keep pushing. The Vexari might retreat for now, but they would return stronger unless Earth took the fight deeper. The humans launched a new series of strikes against the Vexari supply lines. Fast, silent ships attacked the ships that brought food, fuel, and weapons to the Vexari mothership. Without these supplies, the alien fleet would weaken quickly. The Vexari tried to respond with their own attacks. They sent fighters to hunt the human ships, but the humans used their knowledge of the Vexari fears to outsmart them. They created fake signals and illusions, making the enemy waste energy and time chasing ghosts. As the Vexari supply lines weakened, Earth's forces grew stronger. Factories produced more ships and weapons. Scientists improved the drones and artificial intelligences. The terrifying gift evolved. On the ground, humanity felt the change too. People no longer lived in constant fear. They worked together, united by hope and pride. Messages of support poured into the soldiers and crew fighting in space. Captain Malik led the next mission herself. This time, they did not just attack supply ships. They went into the heart of the Vexari mothership. The terrifying gift was unleashed again, causing panic and chaos. Inside the mothership, the Vexari struggled. Their orders were ignored. Fear spread among their ranks. Some tried to fight back, but their minds were clouded by the terrifying illusions. In one of the control rooms, Commander Kethrax, a high-ranking Vexari, stared at the chaos. He had never seen his people so afraid. "What is this power?" he growled. "How can these humans fight without strength or weapons?" Back on Earth, the Guardians knew the answer. Humanity's greatest weapon was their mind, their ability to adapt, to use fear as a tool, and to unite against a common enemy. The turning tide was clear. The Vexari, once so confident, now feared Earth. They sent a new message. "We seek peace. We will discuss terms." It was the moment humanity had waited for. After months of fear, fight, and hope, the future looked brighter. But Captain Malik warned, "We must be careful. Peace is not the end. It is a new beginning." Earth's leaders prepared to meet with the Vexari. The world held its breath. The story of humanity's fight for survival was far from over, but now they stood tall. The message from the Vexari shocked the leaders of Earth. After months of battle, the once terrifying enemy now sought peace. Their words came slowly, with caution and respect, as if they finally saw humanity in a new light. At the United Earth Council, leaders from every nation gathered in the Grand Hall. The air was thick with tension and hope. This meeting was unlike any before. For the first time, humans were not speaking to a distant threat, but to beings who wanted to negotiate, who wanted to listen. Captain Arya Malik sat among the representatives. Her eyes, sharp and steady, reflected the journey they had made. From fear to fight, from despair to strength, humanity had proven itself, but she knew peace was fragile. The Vexari delegation arrived, their tall forms moving carefully into the hall. Their leader, Commander Kethrax, stepped forward. The same warrior who once threatened Earth now spoke with a calm voice. "We underestimated you," Kethrax said. "Your strength is not in weapons or numbers, but in your mind and spirit. We offer an alliance, not tribute." The hall was silent. The idea of an alliance with the Vexari seemed impossible just months before. But the evidence was clear. Humanity had survived, and they had changed the rules. The negotiations began slowly. Earth's leaders insisted on respect and freedom for their people. The Vexari agreed, recognizing that force alone could not control humans. Over weeks, both sides learned from each other. The Vexari shared knowledge of the stars, technology, and cultures. Humans taught the Vexari about Earth's diversity, creativity, and resilience. Captain Malik played a key role, bridging the gap between species. Her courage in battle earned respect, and her wisdom in talks earned trust. With the alliance formed, Earth began a new chapter. Vexari ships no longer orbited as enemies but as partners. Trade and exploration started between worlds once separated by fear. On Earth, people celebrated. Streets filled with music and laughter. The future was uncertain but bright. For the first time, humanity was part of something larger, a galactic community. Yet even in peace, the Guardians of Earth remained vigilant. They knew challenges would come, but they also knew that humanity was ready. Captain Malik looked to the stars, her heart full of hope. "We gave the Vexari a terrifying gift," she said softly. "But what we really gave them was the truth. Humanity's strength is endless." And with that, Earth stepped forward, ready to face the universe, not as victims, but as proud and fearless warriors.